Good evening, and welcome, wherever you are right now. However long this day has been, you can let it come to its end. You have arrived at the soft edge of the night, and there is nothing left that you must finish before you are allowed to rest. You can put it all down now. The day has carried you as far as it needs to, and from here, the night will do the rest of the carrying. Before we settle in fully, if you feel like it, you might leave a small word in the comments below, the time where you are, and the place you are listening from. There is something quietly comforting in knowing that all across the world, others are lying down into the same darkness, each of them tired in their own way, each of them ready to let the day go. If this slow hour brings you any calm, you may gently like it, so that it can find others who need a little rest tonight. And if you would like a quiet place to return to, on the nights when sleep feels far away, you are welcome to subscribe and come back whenever you wish. Now let all of that fall softly behind you. There is nothing more to arrange. There is only this voice, and your own slow breath, and the long, kind night ahead. High on the shoulder of a quiet mountain, far above the noise of the busy world, there is an old village. By this hour, most of its windows have already gone dark. The narrow paths between the houses are empty. The well in the small square is still. A thin mist has come down from the higher slopes and settled into the lanes, softening every shape, so that the village seems to be dreaming even before its people are asleep. At the very edge of this village, where the houses give way to pine trees and the path turns to climb toward the peak, there stands a small wooden house with a single lamp still burning in its window. Inside that house lives an old man whom everyone simply calls the Elder. No one quite remembers how long he has lived there. The grandparents of the village remember him as an old man when they themselves were children. And yet, he is still here, tending his small fire, leaving his lamp lit a little longer than anyone else, as if he is keeping the night company on behalf of all who have already fallen asleep. You do not need to know his name. You do not need to know how he came to be wise, or whether he is wise at all, or only patient, which sometimes looks the same in the dark. All you need to know, for tonight, is that his door is never locked, and that he has been expecting you. Not you in particular, perhaps. He has simply learned, over all his long years, that on any given night, someone will come up the path who cannot sleep, who is carrying too much, who needs nothing more complicated than a warm room and a voice that asks nothing of them. And so the door stays open, and so the lamp stays lit. Imagine, then, that you have been walking. It does not matter from where. Perhaps you have walked all day, or perhaps you have only walked through the long corridor of your own thoughts, which can tire a person just as deeply. Your feet are heavy. Your shoulders are carrying the shape of everything you held today. And somewhere in the dark, you see one small light glowing through the mist, and you find yourself walking toward it, the way tired travelers walk toward light. You reach the door. You do not even have to knock. It opens, slow and easy. And there is the Elder, his face gentled by years and by lamplight, and he steps aside to let you in without a single question. He does not ask why you are late. He does not ask what is wrong. He simply nods, as though you are exactly the person he hoped would come, and he gestures toward a low seat near the fire, where the warmth has gathered and waited for you. Come in. Let yourself sit down. Feel, for a moment, the simple relief of being somewhere warm after the cold of the path. The fire is low and steady, more glow than flame, the kind of fire that has been burning long enough to forget it was ever lit. It crackles softly now and then, a small sound in a large silence, and the elder lowers himself into his own seat across from you, slowly, the way old trees move in the wind, and for a while he says nothing at all. This, you may notice, is the first gift he gives. He does not rush to speak. He does not begin teaching you the moment you arrive. He lets you simply be in the room, the way a person needs to be allowed to simply be in a room sometimes, with no expectation laid upon them. The silence is not empty. It is full and soft, like the mist outside, and it asks nothing of you. And as you sit there, you might feel your breath beginning to change on its own. The breath you brought up the mountain was short and high in the chest, the breath of someone hurrying, someone holding on. But here, by this quiet fire, with this old man who wants nothing from you, your breath has begun to drop lower, to slow, to lengthen, the way water slows when a fast stream finally reaches a wide and open lake. You do not have to make this happen. You only have to let it. Let the next breath be a little slower than the last. Let your shoulders, which have been lifted and braced all day, come down now, just a little, away from your ears. Let your hands, which have been holding so much, open just slightly in your lap. There is nothing here that you need to hold. The elder watches the fire, not you, which is its own kindness, because it means you do not have to arrange your face, or seem all right, or be anything other than tired. You can be exactly as tired as you are, and after a long, comfortable while, when he finally does speak, his voice is low and unhurried, like someone reading the last page of a long day. You came up the mountain carrying a great deal, he says, not as a question, but as a simple noticing. Most people do, who arrive at this hour. They climb all this way still holding the whole weight of their day, as if they might be asked to account for it at the top. He pauses, and the fire settles. But there is no one to account to here. There is only the night, and the fire, and time enough to set things down. And so we will set them down, slowly, one by one, through the quiet hours ahead. There is no hurry. You do not have to listen to every word. You are allowed to drift, to lose the thread, to follow the warmth down into sleep whenever it comes for you. The elder will keep talking, and the fire will keep glowing, and the lamp in the window will keep its small watch over the night, whether you are awake to see it or not. For now, simply stay here a moment longer in the warm room at the edge of the sleeping village, and let yourself begin to arrive. The fire shifts, and a small wave of warmth moves across the room and reaches you. And the elder, gazing into the embers, begins to speak again in that same slow and easy voice, as though he is not so much telling a story as remembering one out loud. Long ago, he says, long before this house was old, a traveler came up this same path on a night much like this one. He was a young man then, though his face was already lined with worry, the way some faces are lined early by carrying things too heavy for their years. He had walked a great distance. His sandals were worn through, and when he reached the door, he did not knock gently as you did. He pounded on it, as if the answer to all his troubles might be waiting on the other side, and as if he had to seize it quickly before it slipped away. The elder smiles faintly at the memory, and the fire glows on his face. The old man who lived here then opened the door, and the traveler began to speak at once, all in a rush. He had come, he said, because he had heard there was a wise man on the mountain. He had questions, so many questions. His life was tangled, his mind would not rest. He could not sleep, he could not be still. He could not make the noise inside him quiet down even for a moment. And he needed answers, he said, and he needed them tonight, because he could not bear to carry these questions one day longer. You may know something of how that young traveler felt. Most people who climb up here in the dark do. There's a kind of tiredness that is not only in the body, but in the part of us that keeps trying to solve things, the part that lies awake, turning the same problems over and over, certain that if it only thinks hard enough, long enough, it will finally find the one answer that lets it rest. It is an exhausting way to live, and an even more exhausting way to try to fall asleep. And do you know what the old man did? The elder asks softly. With all those urgent questions, he lets the question hang in the warm air for a moment. He did not answer a single one of them. He simply stepped aside and let the young man in, and sat him down by the fire, just as you are sitting now. And then he went to the small stove in the corner, and he put water on to boil, and he made tea, slowly, with no hurry at all. The traveler kept talking, pouring out his troubles, and the old man said nothing, only watched the water and listened to it begin to murmur, and waited for it to come to its quiet boil. You can almost hear it now, can you not? The low sound of water heating in an iron pot, the small bubbles rising and breaking, the particular hush of a room where someone is patiently making something warm for you to drink. It is one of the oldest comforts there is, older than any teaching, this simple act of someone preparing tea while you rest. And when the tea was ready, the elder goes on. The old man poured a cup for the traveler and pressed it into his hands and said only this: drink. Just that. Drink. And the young man, who had come all this way for grand and difficult answers, found himself instead holding a warm cup of tea, with steam rising into his tired face, and a fire glowing in front of him, and an old man across the room who wanted nothing from him at all. The elder pauses, and the room seems to grow even quieter, even softer. And a strange thing happened. As the traveler lifted the cup and felt its warmth pass into his cold hands and breathed in the gentle steam, he noticed that his questions had grown a little quieter. Not answered, just quieter. They were still there, somewhere, but they no longer felt as if they were standing on his chest, demanding to be solved before he could breathe. There was the warmth of the cup. There was the steam. There was this one breath, and then the next. And for the first time in a long while, that was enough. Perhaps you can feel a little of that warmth yourself, right now. You do not have to do anything with your own questions tonight, the ones you carried up your own dark path. You do not have to solve them, or even look at them. You can simply let them grow quieter, the way the travelers did, while you hold the warmth of this moment in your hands. Let your breath be like the steam rising from that cup. Slow, soft, rising and fading, rising and fading. There is nothing to chase, nothing to grip, just the warmth and the breath and the long, easy night. The traveler stayed by the fire a long while, the elder says, his voice lower now, drifting toward the embers. And eventually, without ever receiving a single answer he had come for, he grew calm enough to feel how tired he truly was. His eyes grew heavy, his head began to nod, and the old man, seeing this, simply took the empty cup from his loosening fingers and laid a blanket over his shoulders, and let him sleep there by the fire, with all his great questions set gently aside, waiting in the dark, no longer in any hurry. The elder looks over at you now, kindly. "That is the first thing I will tell you tonight," he says. "Not everything you carry needs an answer before you sleep. Some of it only needs warmth. Some of it only needs to be set down for a while and held by the night and picked up again in the morning, if it still wants picking up at all. Many troubles, you will find, grow lighter while you sleep, and a few of them quietly leave altogether, the way the traveler's did while he rested by this very fire." Outside, the mist has thickened, pressing soft and white against the dark window. The lamp still burns, the fire still glows, and somewhere in the warmth of the room, you may feel your own questions beginning to loosen their grip, beginning to grow quieter, beginning to settle down for the night beside you, no longer asking to be solved. You do not have to drink the tea to feel it. You only have to let yourself be here, warm and held and unhurried, while the elder gathers his next quiet memory from the embers, and the night deepens gently around the small house on the mountain. For a while the elder says nothing more, and you are left with the warmth of that first story, the way you are sometimes left with the warmth of a hand after it has let go of yours. The fire murmurs, the mist leans against the glass, and in the quiet, you might begin to notice that the young traveler in the story was, in some small way, you. Not in the details, but in the hurry, in the certainty that everything must be understood before anything can rest. So much of our tiredness comes from that certainty. We lie down at night, and the body is willing, the body is ready, the body has been ready for hours. But the mind keeps standing in the doorway of sleep, refusing to come in until it has solved one more thing, just one more, and then one more after that. And we mistake this for being responsible, for being careful, when truly it is only a habit, an old and worn habit of treating rest as something we must earn by finishing, when in fact, rest was never something to be earned at all. Tonight you may lay that habit down, the way the old man took the cup from the traveler's loosening fingers. You do not have to finish anything to be allowed to sleep. The unfinished things will still be there tomorrow, and most of them will look smaller in the morning light. And a few of them would have quietly solved themselves in the dark, as unfinished things so often do. None of them need you tonight. None of them are asking for you now. They have all gone to sleep ahead of you, and they are waiting patiently, and they are in no hurry at all. So let your attention come down, away from the thinking part of you, down into the body, which is so much wiser about rest than the mind ever is. Feel where you are resting right now. Feel the surface beneath you, holding all of your weight, asking nothing of you in return. You do not have to hold yourself up. The bed, the chair, the floor, whatever holds you tonight, it is strong enough, and it is glad to do it. you can let go into it completely. Begin with the breath, the way the traveler did, watching the steam rise from the cup. Let the next breath in be a little slower, drawn down low, not into the tight high place in the chest where worry likes to gather, but down into the belly, soft and round and easy. And then let it go, without pushing it, the way the mist drifts down the mountain on its own. In, slow, out, slower. There is nothing to control here. The breath knows how to breathe you. It has been breathing you all your life. Through every day you can remember, and every night you cannot. Faithfully, quietly, never once asking for thanks. You can trust it now to carry you down towards sleep. And as the breath slows, let the body begin to soften, one part at a time, with no effort, only attention. Let the muscles of your face let go first. The small ones around your eyes that have been working all day to read the world. The ones at your jaw that may have been quietly clenched without your knowing. Let the jaw come loose. Let the space between your eyebrows grow smooth. There is no problem here that your face needs to solve. Let that softening flow down through your neck, which has held up the weight of your head and the weight of your thoughts all the long day. Let it pour down across your shoulders, those tired shoulders that climbed the mountain holding the shape of everything. And let them drop, and drop again, sinking away from your ears, melting down toward the warmth of the fire. Each time you breathe out, let them grow a little heavier, a little lower, a little more willing to be done for the day. Feel the warmth move down your arms, all the way to your hands, those hands that have held and carried and reached and grasped since morning. Let them open. Let the fingers uncurl, the way the traveler's fingers loosened around the empty cup. There is nothing left to hold tonight. You may set it all down, every last thing, into the keeping of the dark. Let the heaviness settle into your chest now, and your back, and your belly, rising and falling with that slow tide of breath. Let it pour down through your hips, which carry so much of our quiet tension, and let them grow soft and wide and heavy. Down through the long muscles of the legs, which walked you through this whole day, every step of it, faithfully. Let them rest now. Let them grow warm and still. And down, finally, all the way to your feet, which carried you up the dark path to this fire. Let even them grow heavy. Let even them be done. Now the whole body is resting, like the traveler asleep by the fire, with the blanket laid over his shoulders. And you, too, have a kind of blanket over you, woven of warmth and lamplight, and the deep quiet of a sleeping village. You do not have to do a single thing more. You have already arrived. You are already where you need to be. The elder watches the fire, and you rest, and the night holds you both. If a thought drifts past, you do not have to follow it. Let it float by, the way a leaf floats by on slow water, and let it go on downstream without you. You are not your thoughts tonight. You are the quiet that holds them, the wide, still place beneath them, the one who is simply resting here by the fire, while the mind grows calm. There is a long night ahead, And the elder has more to share when you are ready. More old and gentle stories drawn up out of the embers. But none of it is urgent. None of it requires you to stay awake. If sleep wishes to take you here, in this warm room, with your questions set down and your body grown heavy and your breath slow as the mist, then let it. Slip away whenever you like. The fire will keep glowing. The lamp will keep its watch. And the voice will go on, soft and low, carrying you gently into whatever comes next. After a long, soft silence, the elder reaches forward and stirs the embers gently with a slender stick, and a few small sparks rise and fade, like thoughts that come and go in a quiet mind. He settles back, and his voice returns, low and warm, gathering up another memory the way one gathers wool in the dark. There was once a young student, he says, who came to live near this mountain, because he had heard that those who climbed to its peak could see something there worth seeing. He was a good young man, eager and bright, but he had one trouble, which is a very common trouble, and perhaps you will recognize it. He was always trying to arrive. Wherever he was, he wished to be a little further along. Whatever he was doing, he wished it were already done. The fire pops softly, and the elder goes on. Each morning, the young student would set out to climb to the peak, and each morning he would hurry. He would fix his eyes on the summit, far above, and he would push himself upward, faster and faster, counting his steps, measuring how high he had come, frustrated by how far he still had to go. He did not see the path beneath his feet. He did not see the small flowers that grew between the stones, or the way the morning light came slanting through the pines, or the streams that crossed the trail with their cold, clear singing. He saw only the top, always the top, and the top never seemed to come any closer, no matter how he rushed. You may know this kind of climbing. Most of us have done it, not only on mountains, but through whole seasons of our lives, our eyes fixed always on some summit ahead, some point at which we believe we will finally be allowed to rest, to be satisfied, to arrive. And the strange thing is that when we reach one summit, we so often find another rising just beyond it, and we set off again, hurrying, never quite here, always almost there. One evening, the elder says, the young student came down the mountain, having failed once more to reach the top before dark. And he was tired and discouraged, and he came to the old man's door, much as the traveler had. And he asked, almost angrily, how long it would take. How long until he reached the peak? How fast must he climb? What was the secret of getting there at last? The elder smiles, and the lamplight catches the deep lines of his face. And the old man took the young student outside, into the cool blue dusk, and he pointed not up at the distant peak, but down at the path beneath their feet. Look, he said, this is the mountain, not the top. This, the stone under your foot, the next gentle bend of the trail, the cool air on your skin, the sound of that stream. You have been climbing for weeks, the old man said, and you have not yet walked the mountain once, because you have not yet been on the part of it where your feet actually are. Let that settle for a moment. Here in the warmth, while your own breath rises and falls. You have spent so much of your life trying to get somewhere. And here you are, finally, somewhere. Not at a summit, just here, in this warm room, in this quiet hour, with the fire glowing and the night come down. There is nowhere further you need to reach tonight. This is the place. This breath is the place. There is no peak to rush toward in the dark. The young student did not understand at first. The elder says, "The young rarely do, and that is no fault of theirs." But the old man gave him a small task. "Tomorrow," he said, "climb only as far as you can while truly seeing each step. The moment you find yourself rushing toward the top, stop. Sit down. Look around you at where you actually are. And only when you are at peace with that place, walk on." The elder's voice grows softer, slower, like footsteps growing fainter on a quiet trail. And so the next day, the young student climbed differently. Whenever he caught himself hurrying, he stopped. He sat upon a stone. He felt the sun. He listened to the wind move through the high grass. And a curious thing happened. The climbing, which had been a misery to him, became a kind of peace. He stopped counting his steps. He stopped measuring how far he had to go. And without his noticing exactly when, the mountain began to feel less like an enemy to be conquered and more like an old friend to be walked beside. Feel your own breath slow as the story slows. You do not have to hurry toward sleep either. Sleep is not a summit to be reached by pushing harder. It is more like that gentler walking, where you simply stop measuring, stop straining, and let yourself be exactly where you are, breath by breath, until the way down into rest opens softly beneath you on its own. In the end, the elder says, the young student did reach the peak, many times over the seasons that followed. But by then it hardly mattered to him whether he reached it or not, because he had discovered something better than arriving. He had discovered how to be on the way, how to be at peace with the unfinished climb. And that, he said in his later years, was the real thing worth seeing at the top of the mountain. Not the view, the peace he had learned to carry up to it. The elder leans back, and the fire settles into a deeper glow. So do not climb toward sleep tonight, he says gently. Do not strain upward toward it, as if it were a far peak you must reach before you are allowed to stop. Simply walk where you are. This breath, this warmth, this soft and unhurried moment. Be at peace with the place your feet are resting now, and the way down into sleep will open beneath you when it is ready, with no rushing and no counting of the steps. Outside, the last light has gone from the sky, and the stars have come out of the dark shape of the mountain. The path that climbs toward the peak is empty now, resting in the cool of the night, in no hurry to lead anyone anywhere. And you, here by the fire, may rest in just the same way, going nowhere, reaching for nothing, perfectly where you are. The elder lets the quiet return, and in that quiet, you may become aware of the village below, spread out beneath the house in the dark. If you were to stand at the window now, you would see it. The scattered roofs, the empty lanes, the few last windows still glowing. And even as you watched, one of those windows would go dark, and then another, as the people of the village let go of their days and lay down into sleep, one by one, all across the mountainside. There is something tender in that. The elder seems to feel, watching the fire as if he can see the whole village in it. All those lives, each one with its own worries, its own small joys, its own long day now ending. The farmer who rose before dawn, the mother who did not sit down until the children were asleep, the old woman who lives alone and talks softly to her cat by candlelight, the young man who lay awake worrying about money, until at last his worry tired itself out and let him sleep. One by one, their lights go out. One by one, they are gathered into the same darkness that is gathering you now. You are not alone tonight, even in the deepest part of the night. All across the world, in countless rooms, others are doing exactly what you are doing. Lying down, letting go, following their tired breath toward sleep. Some of them are listening to this same quiet voice. Some are simply lying in the dark, the way humans have lain down in the dark for as long as there have been people and there has been night. You belong to that great and gentle company of the sleeping. You always have. Tonight you may simply take your place among them and rest. The elder once said that a village at night is like a hand slowly opening. All day the people hold on, he said. They grip their work, their worries, their hopes, their fears. They close around the day like fingers around a coin, afraid to drop it. But when night comes, finger by finger, the hand begins to open. The grip loosens. The worries slip out, one by one, and fall away into the dark, where they cannot be held anymore, and where, for a while, they do not need to be. By the deepest part of the night, he said, the whole village has become an open hand, holding nothing, reaching for nothing, simply resting, palm upturned to the stars. And in the morning the hand will close again around whatever the new day brings. And that is well. That is as it should be. But the night is for the open hand. The night is for letting go. You may let your own hand open in just that way now. Not only the hand at the end of your arm, though you may let that uncurl as well, but the deeper hand, the inner grip, the part of you that has been holding on all day. Let it open, finger by finger. Let whatever you have been gripping slip quietly out into the dark. You can pick it all up again tomorrow if you wish. But for tonight, your hands are open, and they are holding nothing, and they are perfectly at peace. And as the village settles, notice how the night itself seems to grow softer, rounder, deeper. The mist has filled the lanes completely now, and it muffles every sound, so that the few small noises of the dark, the creak of a branch, the distant call of a night bird, the faint sigh of wind in the pines, all of them come to you wrapped in softness, padded and gentle. Nothing sharp, nothing sudden. The night is doing what the night does. It is folding the whole village in quiet, smoothing away the edges of the day, making everything ready for rest. You can let the night do the same for you. You do not have to hold the shape of your day any longer. The night is here to soften it. Let the edges of everything blur a little, the way the houses blur in the mist. Let the sharp things grow rounded. Let the loud things grow faint. Let the urgent things lose their urgency, the way they always do, eventually, in the dark, when there is nothing to be done about them, and nowhere to go but down into sleep. Feel how heavy your body has become, resting where it rests, heavier than when we began. The warmth has reached all the way into you now, into the deep places, and your weight has settled fully into whatever holds you. There is a particular comfort in being heavy like this, in giving your whole weight over to the earth, to the bed, to the night, and letting it be carried for you. You have carried yourself all day. Now you can be carried. The elder breathes slowly across the room, and you breathe slowly with him, and the fire breathes too, in its way, the embers brightening and dimming in a rhythm older than words. In and out, brighten and dim. The whole quiet world rising and falling, gently, like the chest of something large and kind that is itself half asleep. You do not need to think about anything now. Thinking is the daytime work, and the day is over. If thoughts still drift through, that is all right. They are only the last few embers of the day, brightening and fading, and you do not have to tend them. Let them dim on their own. There is nothing they need to accomplish here in the dark. They, too, are allowed to rest. The elder shifts a little in his seat, and you sense that another memory is rising in him. Another of the quiet stories he keeps, drawn up slowly from somewhere deep in all his years. He is in no hurry to tell it. He waits until the village is fully dark, until the last window is gone out, until the only lights left on the whole mountain are his small lamp and his low fire, and the cold scatter of stars above the peak. And then, in the deep and gathered quiet, with the whole world asleep around the two of you, he begins again, his voice even softer now, meant only for the warm space between you, a voice that asks nothing, that hurries nowhere, that is content simply to keep you gentle company through the long middle of the night. Stay here with it. There is nothing else you need to do. The village sleeps below you. The night holds you both. And the next quiet story begins to unfold in the warmth of the fire, while you grow heavier and softer and closer to the long, deep rest that is waiting for you, patient as the dark. There was a man, the elder begins softly, who used to pass through this village on his way between the towns of the valley, twice each year, in spring and in autumn. And every time he came, he carried an enormous pack upon his back. It was the largest pack anyone in the village had ever seen, piled high above his head and bulging at the sides, so heavy that he walked bent almost double beneath it, and so wide that he had to turn sideways to pass through any doorway. The fire flickers, and the elder's eyes are kind. No one knew exactly what was in the pack, for the man never opened it where others could see, but he guarded it fiercely. He would not let anyone touch it. He would not set it down to rest, not even for a moment. When he stopped to eat, he ate with the pack still on his back. When he stopped to drink at the well, he drank with the straps still cutting into his shoulders. And when, one cold autumn night, he came to this very house seeking shelter from the rain, he came in still wearing it. And he sat down in that chair where you were sitting, still bent beneath that great weight, unwilling to let it go, even by the warm fire. You may feel, somewhere, that you understand this man. Most of us carry something we will not set down. Not a pack of cloth and rope, but a weight all the same. An old worry we keep ready in case we should need it. A grief we are afraid to put down, because putting it down might feel like forgetting. a long list of all we must do and all we have failed to do, which we carry even into bed, even into the dark, hunched beneath it, certain that if we let it go for a single night, something terrible will happen, though we could not say quite what. And often we do not even remember picking these things up. They gathered slowly over the years, the way a pack grows heavy, not from one great stone, but from 1,000 small ones, each added on a day we hardly noticed. A worry from a hard winter long ago, a harsh word someone spoke to us once, but we have carried ever since. A promise we made to ourselves in a difficult hour and never let ourselves release. We add and we add, and we rarely subtract. And then we wonder why the walking has grown so hard, why we arrive at every evening so bent and so tired. The pack was never meant to be carried into the night. Yet into the night we carry it, straps cutting deep, because we have somehow forgotten that setting it down is even allowed at all. The old man who lived here then, the elder goes on, watched the traveler sit there, sweating beneath his pack by the fire, his face tight with the effort of holding it. And he said gently, "Friend, you may set that down. You are safe here. No one will take it. It will be right beside you." But the man only gripped his straps tighter and shook his head. "I cannot," he said. "I have carried it so long that I no longer know how to put it down. And besides, if I set it down, who will I be? I've always been the man with the great pack. Without it, I do not know what is left." The elder pauses and lets those words rest in the warm air, because they are tender words and true ones, and perhaps you feel their truth. The old man did not argue. He never argued. He simply said, "Then keep it on, friend, if you must, but at least lean back against the wall and let the wall take some of the weight, just for tonight." And the traveler, too tired to refuse, leaned back, and the wall took the weight of the pack, and for the first time in longer than he could remember, the man felt the straps loosen, just a little, against his aching shoulders. He had not removed his burden, but he had let something else help him hold it. And that small relief was so sweet, so unexpected, that tears came to his eyes, there in the firelight. Let your own weight lean back now, the way the traveler leaned against the wall. Whatever you are carrying tonight, you do not have to set it down all at once. Not if you are not ready. But you may lean back and let the night take some of the weight. Let the bed hold it. Let the dark hold it. You do not have to hold all of it alone, with your own straining strength all through the night. Lean back. Let something larger help you carry it for a while. In the morning, the elder says, when the man woke by the cold fire, he found that, in his sleep, the pack had slipped from his shoulders and come to rest on the floor beside him. And he had slept anyway. The terrible thing he had always feared, the thing that would surely happen if he ever set it down, had not happened. The pack was still there. He was still himself. And he had slept more deeply, with the weight on the floor beside him, than he had in many long years upon the road. The elder's voice grows very quiet now. He did not become a man without a pack, not that morning, nor for a long time after. Some burdens take many nights to truly set down, and that is no shame. But he had learned the first thing, which is the only thing you need to learn tonight. He had learned that he could let it rest beside him while he slept, that he did not have to carry it through his dreams, that the night would keep it for him, faithfully, and hand it back in the morning, should he still want it. You may let your own pack rest on the floor beside you now. It will be there in the morning, every bit of it, if you should want it. But you do not have to carry it into sleep. Set it down beside you, just for tonight, and lean back, and let the dark hold what you have held so long, so that your shoulders, at last, can rest. For a long while, the elder is silent, and the fire burns lower, and the night has reached that deep and central hour when even the wind has grown still. And in this stillness, he says something to you directly, gently, turning his kind old face toward you in the soft light. You have been listening so carefully, he says, and that is good. But I want you to know that you no longer have to. We have come to the middle of the night now, and the middle of the night is not for understanding. It is for drifting. So I will keep talking, as I always do, but you may stop following my words whenever you wish. You may let them blur and run together and lose their edges, the way the houses lost their edges in the mist. You do not have to gather their meaning anymore. Let the meaning go. Let the words become only sound, only a low and gentle current moving through the dark, and let yourself float upon it, going wherever it carries you. Below the village, the elder tells you, there runs a river. You may not have noticed it before, but it has been there all along, all through the stories, moving quietly in the dark at the bottom of the valley. It is not a loud river. It is wide and slow and very old, and it makes only the softest sound as it goes, a low and constant murmur. The kind of sound you stop hearing because it never stops, the way you stop hearing your own breath. In the autumn, the elder says, the leaves fall from the trees along the banks, and they drift down onto the surface of that river, one by one, and the water carries them away. The leaf does not swim. The leaf does not steer. The leaf does not worry about where the river is taking it, or how long the journey will be, or whether it is going the right way. The leaf simply rests upon the moving water, and the water does all the carrying, and the leaf is borne gently downstream through the dark, turning slowly, perfectly at ease, asking nothing, resisting nothing, going wherever the river goes. Let yourself become like that leaf now. You have done enough swimming today. You have steered and worked and held your course through all the long hours. And now you may stop. Let yourself rest upon the moving water of the night. Let it carry you. You do not have to know where it is taking you. You do not have to do anything to help it. The current of sleep is beneath you now, slow and wide and patient, and it knows the way, and it will carry you down through the dark, all the way to morning. If you will only let yourself rest upon it, and stop trying to swim. Each breath out is the water moving you a little further downstream. Each breath out, you drift a little deeper, a little softer, a little closer to sleep. You are not going anywhere. You need to understand. You are simply being carried, the way the leaf is carried, the way the village is carried through the night, the way the whole turning world is carried through the dark toward another dawn that it does not have to lift a finger to bring about. And if your thoughts still come, let them be like other leaves on the water, drifting past you, each one carried away in its turn. You do not have to climb onto any of them. You do not have to follow any of them upstream. Let each thought drift up alongside you for a moment, and then let the current take it on ahead, around the next dark bend, out of sight, gone. There is always another leaf. There is always the water carrying it away. And there is you, resting upon the slow river of the night, growing heavier and softer with every breath, asking nothing, holding nothing, going gently nowhere you need to know. The elder once said that he had sat by that river for so many years that he had learned its deepest secret, which is this: the river is never in a hurry, and yet it always arrives. It does not rush, and it does not push, and it does not strain against its banks trying to reach the scene more quickly. It simply moves at its own slow and ancient pace, around every bend, over every stone, through every quiet night. And in the fullness of time, it reaches the wide ocean without ever once having hurried. Sleep is like that river, he said. You cannot rush to the sea of sleep. You can only let the current take you, slowly, around each soft bend of the breath, and trust that it will carry you there in its own time, as it always has, as it always will. The harder you try to swim toward sleep, the more you wake yourself. But the leaf that rests upon the water arrives without effort, every time, carried gently into the deep. So rest now, like that leaf, and trust the river. You do not have to reach sleep. Sleep will reach you. It is already flowing towards you through the dark, slow and certain, and all you must do is float and breathe and let yourself be carried the rest of the way. The elder's voice has become part of the river now, you may notice. It no longer matters what the words mean. They are only the murmur of the water, the low and constant sound at the bottom of the valley, carrying you. You may close your eyes, if they are not already closed, and let even the sound grow distant, the way the sound of a river grows distant as you fall asleep beside it. There is nothing more to do tonight. There is nowhere you must arrive. The middle of the night has come, and it asks nothing of you but this, that you rest upon it, and let it carry you, the way it has carried every tired soul who ever lay down in the dark, and finally, let go. The elder watches over you as the fire glows low. He is in no hurry. He has all the long hours of the night, and he will spend them here, keeping the lamp lit, keeping you company, telling his soft, old stories to the dark, whether you are awake to hear them or not. You may drift now, you may sleep now, or you may float a little longer on the gentle current of his voice as more quiet tales rise up out of the embers, and the river carries you on, deeper and deeper into the soft heart of the night. Out of the soft current of the night, the elder draws another memory, and this one, you sense, is a tender one, for his voice grows even gentler as he begins, the way a voice does when it speaks of a child. There was a little girl in the village, he says, many years ago, who could not sleep. She was perhaps 6 years old, and at night, when the house was dark and her parents thought her sleeping, she would lie awake with her eyes open, troubled by all the small worries that seem so large to a child. Worries about a friend who had been unkind, worries about a task at school she did not understand, worries she could not even name, the formless nighttime fears that come to all of us when we are small, and that never quite leave us, even when we are grown. The fire glows, and you may feel a tenderness for that small, wakeful child, and perhaps for the small, wakeful child you once were, lying in your own dark room long ago, listening to the house settle, afraid of you knew not what. One evening, the elder says, her grandmother brought her up the mountain to visit the old man who lived here, and while the grown-ups talked by the fire, the little girl tugged at the old man's sleeve and asked him a question that she had been carrying for a long time. She asked him, "Where do worries go at night?" Because hers would not leave. They stayed and stayed all night long, and she wanted to know where they were supposed to go, and why hers did not seem to know the way. The elder smiles, and there is great kindness in it. And the old man did not laugh at her, as some grown-ups laugh at children's questions. He took her seriously, the way every child deserves to be taken seriously. He led her outside, into the cold, clear night, and he pointed up at the sky, which on the mountain is very black and very full of stars. "Do you see your breath?" he asked her, for it was cold enough that her breath made small clouds in the air. She nodded. "Watch," he said, and he had her breathe out, slowly, a long, warm breath into the cold. And they watched the little cloud of it rise and spread and grow thin and vanish up into the dark. Gone, melted into the great black sky. Breathe out now, yourself, slow and long, and imagine you can see your breath rising in the cold mountain air, spreading, thinning, vanishing up into the stars. Worries are like that, the old man told the child. Like warm breath in the cold night. They rise out of us, and they seem solid for a moment, and then the great dark sky receives them and spreads them thin, and they melt away into something so vast that they cannot stay solid anymore. That is where worries go at night, he told her. They go up into the dark, and the dark is so large, so endless, that it dissolves them, the way it dissolves your breath, until there is nothing left of them but the wide and peaceful sky. "But mine do not melt," the little girl said. "They stay all night." And the old man nodded, for this is the trouble with worries, and it is the same for children and for the grown. "They do not melt," he said, "as long as you hold them tight against your chest, close and warm, where they cannot reach the sky. A worry held close stays solid, but a worry breathed out, up into the dark, given to the great night sky, that worry grows thin and spreads and dissolves, just like your breath. You must let them go up, little one. You must breathe them out. You must give them to the sky, which is so much bigger than you, and so much bigger than them, and which has been dissolving the worries of tired souls since long before you were born. Let yourself do that now. Whatever small worry is still held warm against your chest, breathe it out, gently, up into the dark. You do not have to throw it. You do not have to force it. Simply breathe it out, the way the child breathed out into the cold, and watch it rise, and spread, and thin, and vanish up into the vast and peaceful night that is so much larger than any worry could ever be. The sky will take it. The sky has room for all of it. The sky has been taking the worries of the sleepless for 10,000 years, and it has never once grown full. And look how many stars there are. The old man had the child notice, more than anyone could ever count, scattered across the whole black bowl of the night. Each one is a fire so far away that its light has been traveling toward us since before you were born. Beside all of that, he asked her gently, how large is your worry now? Not to shame it, for every worry is real to the one who carries it, but only to let her feel, for a moment, how small and how held it was. One little trouble beneath 10,000 ancient lights, in a night so wide that it could hold the whole sleeping village, and the whole sleeping valley, and the whole sleeping world, with room left over for the worries of everyone in it. And the little girl looked up at all those stars, and felt how small her worry was beneath them, and felt, for the first time, not frightened by the bigness of the night, but comforted by it, held by it, made safe inside it. The little girl breathed out her worries into the sky that night. The elder says softly, one by one, the way you might blow dandelion seeds into the wind. And when she had breathed out the last of them, she found that her chest felt lighter, and her eyes felt heavy, and the cold night did not frighten her any more, because she understood now that it was not an empty dark, but a vast and gentle one, a dark that received things and dissolved them, and made them peaceful. And her grandmother carried her home, half asleep, and she slept that night more deeply than she had in months. And for the rest of her long life, whenever a worry would not leave her in the dark, she remembered to breathe it out and give it to the sky. You may give your worries to the sky as well tonight. Breathe them out into the vast and gentle dark, and let them rise and thin and vanish until your chest is light and your eyes are heavy, and the night is no longer something to fear, but something to rest within, soft and endless and kind, holding you and all your dissolving worries in its great dark arms. The fire has burned down to a bed of soft orange embers, and in their low light, the elder's face is gentle and half in shadow. He folds his hands and lets a little time pass. And then he speaks of water, though not the moving water of the river this time, but water that has gone perfectly still. Behind this house, he says, a little way up the slope, there is a small pond. It is fed by a spring, and it is very old, and on a clear night, when the air is calm, it becomes a mirror so perfect that the moon lies upon its surface, as bright and whole as the moon in the sky, and you can hardly tell which is the true moon and which is only its reflection. You can picture it, perhaps, a small dark pond among the pines, holding the round white moon upon its still black face, silent, untroubled, perfectly clear. There was a villager, the elder goes on, a good and hard-working woman, who had heard that on certain nights the moon could be seen resting whole upon that pond, and she wished very much to see it. So one night she climbed up to the pond, full of eagerness, and she leaned over the water to look for the moon. But she was breathing hard from the climb, and her hands were restless, and in her eagerness she reached down and stirred the surface, this way and that, searching for the moon's reflection. And of course, the more she stirred the water, the more the moon broke apart. It scattered into 100 shifting fragments of light, splintered and trembling, and no matter how she reached for it, she could not gather it back into a single whole moon. The harder she searched, the more it shattered. You may feel the truth of that somewhere beneath your tiredness. So often, the thing we most want to see clearly is the very thing we cannot find, precisely because we are reaching for it so hard. We stir the water trying to grasp the moon, and our reaching is what keeps it broken. The villager grew frustrated, the elder says softly, and she nearly gave up and went home. But just then, the old man who lived here came up the path, for he often walked at night, and he saw her leaning over the troubled water, and he understood at once. Do not reach for it, he told her gently. Do not stir the water looking for it. Simply sit back. Be still. Take your hands out of the pond and wait. And let the water do what water does when it is left alone. The elder's voice grows quiet and slow, like settling water itself. And so the woman sat back upon the cool stones at the edge of the pond, and she took her hands out of the water, and she stopped reaching, and she simply waited. And slowly, with no effort from her at all, the surface of the pond began to grow calm. The ripples spread out and faded. The trembling fragments of light began to drift back together. The fine silt she had stirred up from the bottom began to settle, sinking down, leaving the water clear. And little by little, without her doing anything but sitting still, the whole moon gathered itself again upon the surface, round and bright and perfect, exactly where it had always been, waiting only for the water to grow quiet enough to show it. Let your own mind be like that pond now. All day you have stirred it, reaching for this, grasping for that, troubling the water with one urgent thought after another. And like the villager, the harder you have reached, the more broken and scattered everything has seemed. But you needn't reach any more tonight. You can take your hands out of the water. You can sit back and be still, and let the silt of the day settle down on its own. You do not have to clear your mind by force. That is only more stirring. You have only to stop adding to it, and wait, and let the natural stillness of the night do the rest. The thoughts will settle, as silt settles, sinking slowly to the bottom while you rest. The trembling will fade, and the deep clarity that was always there beneath the disturbance, the quiet, whole moon of a peaceful mind, will gather itself again upon the surface, with no effort from you at all, simply because you finally stopped stirring the water. And here is the gentlest part of it, the part the old man wished the villager to understand most of all. The moon was never truly broken, not for one moment. All the while she stirred and grasped and despaired, the real moon hung whole and serene in the sky above her, perfectly untouched by anything her hands could do to the water. It was only the reflection that scattered. The moon itself was always whole. And so it is with the deep peace within you. On the most troubled night, when your thoughts are most scattered, when nothing seems clear and everything seems broken, the quiet that lives beneath it all is not broken at all. It is only hidden by the stirring of the surface. It waits, whole and untouched, exactly as it always has, for the water to grow still enough to show it again. You are not repairing something tonight. You are only letting the surface calm so that what was always whole can show itself once more. The woman saw the moon that night, the elder says, more beautiful than she had imagined, resting whole and bright upon the still black pond. And she said afterward that the seeing was not the best part. The best part was the stillness itself, the deep peace of sitting quietly by the water with her hands in her lap, waiting, while everything slowly settled and grew clear. She'd climbed the hill to see the moon, but what she carried home was the stillness. Feel that stillness gathering in you now, as the fire glows low and the night holds its breath. There is nothing to reach for. There is nothing to stir. Sit back in your own way and take your hands out of the troubled water and let everything settle and let everything grow clear while the moon gathers itself upon the quiet pond behind the house and the silt of your long day sinks slowly, softly, down into the dark and is still. And now the elder grows quiet for a long while, and you may let yourself grow quiet with him. There is less to say now. The deep part of the night has come, the part with few words in it, and you needn't gather any more meaning. You may simply rest here, in the warm and dimming room, and let the night be what it is. The fire is very low now. It has given most of its warmth already, and what remains is a soft bed of embers, glowing deep orange in the dark, breathing slowly, brightening a little, dimming a little, brightening, dimming, like something falling asleep. You can watch it without thinking. You can let your eyes grow soft and unfocused, and simply rest them on that low and gentle glow, until the glow itself seems to soften and blur and grow dim. There is no need to follow anything now, no story to keep hold of, no thread to gather. Only the warmth and the low light and the slow rise and fall of your own breathing, which has grown soft and even in its own time, without your having to arrange it. Listen, if you like, to how quiet it has become. The small sounds of the early night have faded. The night bird has gone to roost. The wind has lain down in the pines. Even the soft murmur of the river at the bottom of the valley has grown faint and far away. There is only the occasional whisper of an ember settling, and beneath that, a great and gathering silence, soft as wool, spreading out over the whole dark mountain. You may let that silence come into you now. There is room for it. All day you were full of sound, full of voices and noise and the endless talking of the mind. But the mind has grown tired of talking, at last, and it is letting the silence in. Let it come. Let the quiet fill the spaces where the noise used to be. It is a kind and restful quiet, and it asks nothing of you, and it is large enough to hold you completely. The room itself seems to grow softer in the dark. The walls have drawn back into shadow. The corners have gone gentle and vague. The small things of the room, the cups upon the shelf, the worn cloak upon its hook, the old bowl by the window, have all dimmed into shapes, and the shapes have dimmed into dark. And there is nothing sharp left to catch the eye, nothing bright, nothing that calls for your attention. There is only the warm and shadowed room, growing dimmer, growing softer, growing more and more like the inside of sleep itself. And the dark, you may notice, is not empty. It is full and soft, like a blanket, like the mist outside, like deep, still water. It wraps around you gently. It holds the room, and the house, and the whole sleeping mountain. And it holds you, tenderly, the way the dark has held every sleeping creature since the first night of the world. You needn't be afraid of it. It is the oldest friend of rest. It has come to gather you in, as it gathers in all tired things, softly, without a sound. Feel the warmth of the room on your skin, that last gentle warmth from the dying fire. Feel the weight of your body, heavy now, fully given over to whatever holds you, sunk down deep and still. Feel the slow tide of your breath, rising, falling, rising, falling, needing nothing from you, carrying on by itself, faithful and slow. There is nothing here that needs doing. There is nowhere here that needs reaching. There is only this, the glow, the warmth, the silence, the breath, the deep, soft dark of the late night settling over everything, settling over you. The elder sits across from you, his eyes half closed, keeping his quiet watch. He does not speak. He does not need to. His presence alone is enough. The way the presence of someone kind in the room is enough, even when no words pass between you. You are not alone in the dark. Someone gentle is near. The lamp still burns its small, steady flame in the window. The fire still glows its last soft glow on the hearth. And you may rest, fully, deeply, knowing that the night is being watched over, that you do not have to keep watch yourself, that you may let go of even that and sink down into the warm and silent dark. Let your breath grow even slower now. Let each one out be a little longer, a little softer, like the embers dimming. There is no hurry in the breath. There is no hurry anywhere in this room, in this night, in this whole sleeping world. Everything has slowed. Everything has grown soft and low and quiet. And you are part of that slowing, part of that softness, sinking gently down with the fire, with the village, with the long, deep night. If thoughts drift through, they are faint now and far apart, like the last few embers brightening and dimming on the hearth. You needn't tend them. Let them glow for a moment and dim and go out, one by one, until even they grow quiet, and there is only the warm dark and the slow breath and the deep and gathering peace. You are so close to sleep now. You can feel it, can you not? That soft heaviness, that gentle pull downward, the way the body feels when it is finally ready to let go. You needn't resist it. You needn't reach for it either. Simply let it come, the way sleep has always come to the tired, rising up softly from beneath, taking you down by slow degrees into the deep, warm dark, where there are no more thoughts, no more words, no more anything but rest. Stay here, in the dimming room. in the deep silence, in the last soft warmth of the fire. There is more the elder may share when you are ready. A few more quiet tales drawn up out of the embers before the night is through. But there is no need to wait for them. There is no need to do anything at all. You may simply rest here, heavy and warm and silent, while the fire burns down to its last gentle glow, and the night holds you, and sleep comes for you softly, in its own slow time, exactly as it should. In the dim and quiet room, the small lamp in the window goes on burning, as it always does, its little flame steady and unwavering in the dark. And the elder, seeing you notice it, speaks once more, softly, his voice hardly more than the warmth of the room made into words. "People often ask me," he says, "why I keep the lamp burning all through the night, when I am the only one awake to see it, and when the oil it burns is dear and could be saved. And I tell them what the old man who lived here before me once told me, when I asked him the very same thing, long ago, when I was young. The flame burns on, small and faithful, in the window. There came to this house, in that old man's time, a person in great grief. I will not tell you the shape of the grief, for grief takes many shapes, and you have known your own, and that is enough. This person had lost something that could not be replaced, and they could not be comforted, and they did not want comfort. They did not want wise words. They did not want to be told that time would heal, or that all things pass, or any of the true and useless things that people say to the grieving. They wanted none of it. They only did not want to be alone in the dark with their sorrow. You may know that wish from some night of your own. The wish not to be fixed, not to be taught, not to be told anything at all. Only the wish not to be alone. It is a strange thing about us, the elder seems to say, how much we long to be helped, and yet how little of what we call help is what we truly need. We think we need answers, and someone gives us answers, and somehow we feel no better. We think we need advice, and we are given advice, and the loneliness stays. Because the deepest thing we need, most of the time, is not a solution at all. It is a presence. It is someone who will sit beside us in the dark and not flinch from our sorrow. Not hurry it along, not try to talk us out of it, but simply stay. There is a kind of healing that no words can give, and that only nearness can give. The old and wordless healing of not being alone. The animals know it. They press close to one another in the cold. The child knows it, reaching for a hand in the dark. And somewhere beneath all our cleverness, we know it too. That the cure for the long night is rarely an explanation, and very often only company. And the old man understood this, the elder says. So he did not teach. He did not offer wise words. He simply sat with the grieving person through the whole long night by the light of this lamp. He did not try to take the sorrow away, for he knew he could not, and he knew it would have been an unkindness to try. He only stayed. He kept the lamp lit so that the dark would not be total. And he was there, a quiet presence in the room, so that the person would not have to carry the night alone. And that was all, and it was enough. By morning, the grief was not gone, for grief does not go in a night. But it had been survived. It had been borne through the dark, in company, by lamplight, And that, the old man said, is sometimes the most that can be done for a suffering soul. And it is a great deal. To keep a light burning, to stay, to let them not be alone. Let those words settle into you gently, here in the warm dark. Whatever sorrow you carry, you needn't solve it tonight. You needn't be taught anything about it. You may simply let it be borne through the dark in company by the light of this small, steady flame, knowing that you are not alone in the night, that a quiet and kindly presence is near, keeping watch, keeping the light, so that you may rest. And that is why I keep the lamp burning, the elder says. Not for myself, for whoever, somewhere out in the dark, might glance up and see one small light still glowing on the mountain, and feel, even from far away, even without knowing why, that they are not entirely alone in the night. The lamp does not teach. The lamp does not explain. The lamp only says, quietly, all night long, someone is here. You are not alone. Rest now. I am keeping watch. Feel that small, steady flame burning for you now, in the window of the warm, dark room. It will not go out. It will keep its faithful watch all through the night, however long the night may be, however deep your weariness, however heavy your heart. You needn't hold it. You needn't tend it. It burns on its own, steady and sure, and all you must do is rest in its soft light, and let yourself be watched over, and let yourself, at last, not be alone. There is a deep comfort in being watched over while you sleep. It is the comfort of the child who is finally allowed to close their eyes because they know someone trusted is awake in the house. You may have that comfort now. The elder is here. The lamp is lit. The watch is kept. And you may let go of all your own keeping watch, all your own staying awake just in case, all your own quiet vigilance, and sink down into sleep, trusting that the light will burn and the watch will hold, and you will be safely carried through the dark to morning. Rest now in the lamplight. Someone gentle is keeping the flame. Someone gentle is staying near. You are not alone in the night, and you never were. And you may finally close your eyes and let the small, steady light watch over your sleep, the way it has watched over so many tired and grieving souls before you, faithfully, all the long night through. And if your own heart carries a sorrow that no story can mend, let it be here too, in the warm room, in the soft light. You needn't set it down to be welcome here. You needn't smile, or be well, or be anything other than what you are tonight. The lamp burns just the same for the heavy heart as for the light one. The watch is kept just the same. You are allowed to be sad and still be held. You are allowed to grieve and still be carried gently down into sleep. Let the small flame keep its watch over all of it, the sorrow and the weariness alike. And rest. A long, soft silence follows, lit only by the lamp and the last embers, and in it, you may feel something in you beginning to loosen that has been held tight for a very long time. It is the part of you that always wants to understand. The part that reads the world all day long, searching every face and every word and every turn of events for its meaning, trying to make sense of it all, trying to figure out what to do. That part has worked so hard for so long, and now, here in the dark, it is finally allowed to set its work down. All day your eyes have been reading the road, the screen, the faces, the weather, the long list of things to be understood and decided and managed. And your mind has been reading too, reading the past, trying to understand what happened, reading the future, trying to predict what will. It is exhausting work, this endless reading, this endless trying to make the world make sense. And like any reader at the end of a long day, your mind has earned the right to close the book. So let it close now. Let the book of the day close softly, like eyelids growing heavy. You do not have to understand anything more tonight. You do not have to make sense of your day, or solve the puzzle of your life, or figure out a single thing before you sleep. The understanding can wait. It will all still be there in the morning, and you will read it again then, with fresh and rested eyes. But for now, the book is closed. The reading is done. The mind may rest. There is a deep relief in this, if you let yourself feel it. To stop trying to understand. To let the world be a mystery for a while, unexplained, unsolved, and to find that you can rest perfectly well inside the mystery, that you do not need to have it all figured out in order to lie down and close your eyes. The night does not ask you to understand it. The night only asks you to rest within it. And you may. The elder used to say that we are taught all our lives that understanding is the way to peace. If only we could understand why this happened, or what it means, or how to fix it, then at last we could be at rest. And so we chase understanding the way the villager chased the moon, certain that peace lies on the far side of figuring it all out. But he had come to believe, in his long years, that it was the other way around. That peace does not come after understanding. That peace comes first, when we lay the trying down. And that, from within that peace, what needs to be understood will often grow clear on its own, in its own time, the way the moon gathers on the still pond once the stirring stops. You do not have to understand your way into peace tonight. You may simply rest your way into it, and let the understanding follow later, or not at all, as it pleases. So lay it down, the whole long effort of making sense. You have carried it faithfully all day, and longer, for years, for a lifetime, this tireless labor of trying to understand. Set it on the floor beside you, like the traveler's heavy pack. It will keep. The mysteries will still be mysteries in the morning, and you may take them up again then, if you wish. But tonight, you are released from the work of understanding. Tonight, you are allowed simply to be in the warm dark, unknowing and unafraid. Feel how the letting go of understanding lets the body soften even further. When the mind stops straining to make sense of things, the brow grows smooth. The eyes grow still beneath their lids. The whole face lets go of its long day of reading. Let that softness spread. Let it pour down from the quiet mind, through the still face, down the neck and the shoulders, down through the chest that no longer needs to brace itself against the next thing to be understood. There is nothing to understand now. There is only rest. There is only the breath and the warmth and the soft, dark deepening around you. Let your thoughts, if any remain, be like words in a closed book, present but unread, resting quietly between the covers, asking nothing of you. You do not have to open the book and read them. Let them stay where they are, in the dark, between the pages, waiting patiently for a morning that is still far away. You are not your thoughts tonight. You are the one who has closed the book and set it aside, and lain down to rest in the deep and peaceful not knowing of the night. The elder does not explain anything more, you may notice. He has grown quiet, the way a good companion grows quiet when words are no longer needed. He understands that the time for stories is passing now, that you are sinking down past the place where stories reach, down into the wordless dark where sleep begins. And he is content to let you go there. He will not call you back with more talk. He will only keep his quiet watch and let you drift down, down, into the place beneath all understanding, where you do not have to know anything at all, and where rest is waiting, vast and patient and kind. Let yourself sink toward it now. Let the last of your need to understand dissolve into the dark, the way warm breath dissolves into the cold night air. There is nothing left to figure out. There is nothing left to solve. There is only the warm room and the steady lamp and the closed book of the day, and your own slow breath carrying you down, past thought, past words, past meaning, into the deep, soft dark where the tired mind finally gets to rest. Stay there, in the not knowing. It is a gentle place. It is the place sleep comes from. You needn't do anything to find it. You have only to stop reaching for understanding, the way the villager stopped reaching for the moon, and let yourself settle, and grow clear, and grow still, while the night holds you, and the lamp burns on, and the long, deep rest gathers softly around you in the dark. It is then that the first soft rain of the night begins to fall. You can hear it starting on the roof, gently, a few scattered drops at first, and then more, until there is a steady, soft, even patter overhead. The sound of rain on old wooden shingles, one of the kindest sounds there is to fall asleep beneath. And the elder, listening to it, smiles. And out of the rhythm of the rain, another memory rises in him. A learned woman once came to this house, he says, during a rain much like this one. She had travelled a great distance from a city far below in the plains, for she had heard that an old man of deep wisdom lived upon this mountain, and she wished to receive his single greatest teaching. She was a thoughtful person and an accomplished one, and she had spent her whole life gathering knowledge, studying, striving, achieving, and she had come, at last, to ask the old man for the one teaching that was deeper than all the others, the secret at the very heart of things, the answer she had been seeking all her life. The rain patters softly on the roof, steady and gentle, and the elder's voice moves easily beneath it, and the old man listened to her request, and he nodded, and he said that yes, he would give her his greatest teaching. She grew very alert and reached for her brush and her paper to write it down so as not to miss a word. But the old man only gestured toward the seat by the fire and said, "First, sit." And she sat. And then he said, "Now, listen to the rain." And she waited, pen ready, certain that the teaching would follow. But the old man said nothing more. He simply sat across from her, listening to the rain. And the rain fell on the roof. And time passed. And still he said nothing. You may smile a little at this, in your warm and drowsy dark. You may know how that learned woman felt, waiting, growing restless, certain that the real teaching was about to begin, unable to believe that this was all there was. At last, the elder says, the woman grew impatient. "I am ready," she said. "Please, give me the teaching." And the old man looked at her kindly and said, "I have given it to you. You have been listening to the rain for 1/4 of an hour, and in all that time, you were waiting for something else. You did not hear the rain at all. You heard only your waiting. That is your whole life," he told her gently. "You have spent it all waiting for the real thing to begin, certain it is always just about to start, and so you have not yet heard the rain. The teaching is this: there is nothing else coming. This is it, the rain on the roof, the warmth of the fire, this very moment, which you keep waiting to get past. Stop waiting and listen, and you will find that the thing you have been seeking your whole life was here all along, falling softly on the roof, while you waited for it to arrive. Let those words fall on you as softly as the rain. Perhaps you, too, have spent so much of your life waiting for the day to be over, for the hard season to pass, for things to settle down, for the real living to finally begin. And perhaps, like the learned woman, you have not yet fully heard the rain. So hear it now. Let yourself stop waiting just for tonight. There is nothing else coming. There is nothing you need to get past. There is only this: the soft rain on the roof, the warm, dark room, the slow breath, the deep peace of the late night. This is it. This is the thing. And it is enough. And you are allowed to simply rest within it, with nothing more to wait for. Listen to the rain itself now, that soft and steady sound above you. It asks nothing of you. It is not trying to teach you anything, or improve you, or hurry you along. It simply falls, as it has fallen on this old roof for 100 years, as it has fallen on the sleeping world since long before there were roofs at all. There is no rhythm to follow, no pattern to learn, nothing to do but let the sound wash gently over you, drop after drop after drop, soft and even and endless, the oldest lullaby there is. Let it loosen you. Let each soft patter on the roof be like a hand smoothing the worry from your brow. The rain is falling, and you are warm and dry and held, and there is nowhere you need to be, and nothing you need to become. And the whole night is yours, simply to rest in, while the rain keeps falling, soft and kind, on the old wooden roof above you. The woman set down her pen, the elder says, and she did not write anything, because there was nothing to write. She simply sat, and for the first time in longer than she could remember, she did nothing at all. She did not strive, she did not study, she did not reach for the next thing. She only sat by the fire and listened to the rain on the roof, and she felt the great, weary weight of all her years of waiting begin to lift, and she understood that she had been given, at last, the only teaching she had ever truly needed, that she was allowed to stop, that she was allowed to simply be here, doing nothing, achieving nothing, with the rain falling and the fire glowing, and her whole striving life set gently aside. And she wept a little, the elder said, not from sorrow, but from relief. Let that same relief come to you now, beneath the soft and steady rain. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to do nothing at all tonight, to achieve nothing, to reach for nothing, to simply lie here in the warm dark and let the rain fall and the breath move and the night carry you. There is nothing else coming that you must prepare for. There is nothing you must get past first. There is only this gentle moment and the soft rain on the roof and your permission, full and complete, to rest within it. Doing nothing. Being nothing. Simply here, simply at peace, while the rain falls on, soft and even, all through the deep and peaceful night. The rain falls on, soft and steady, and beneath it the elder grows quiet again, content to let you sink. And now you may turn your gentle attention, one last slow time, to the body itself, which has carried you so faithfully and now longs only to be allowed to rest. Think of your body tonight as a house at the end of the day, a house very like this one, settling into the night. All evening, in a house, the lights go out room by room, the doors are closed and latched, the windows are shut against the cold, and the whole house grows dark and quiet and still, until it is ready for the long rest of the night. Let your body settle in just that way now, room by room, light by light, growing dark and quiet and still. There is a particular sound, the elder once said, that an old house makes as it settles into the night. A soft series of creaks and sighs as the wood cools and eases and lets go of the warmth of the day. It is not a sound of trouble. It is the sound of a house relaxing, releasing, settling more deeply onto its foundations. The way an old body sighs as it finally lies down. Your body may do the same tonight, with its own small sighs and easings, each one a letting go, each one a sinking a little deeper into rest. Let those sighs come. Let the body settle and creak and ease its way down into the night, releasing the warmth of the long day, growing cool and quiet and ready for sleep. Begin at the very top of the house, with the head, where the lights have burned the longest and the brightest, all the busy rooms of thought blazing late into the night. Let those lights go out now, one by one. Let the room behind the eyes go dim. Let the room behind the brow grow dark. Let the small bright rooms of worry and planning, which have been lit up all day, finally dim and quiet and close for the night. The work of that floor is done. Let it go dark. Move down to the next floor, the throat and the neck and the shoulders, where so much of the day's tension is held, like windows left open to a draft. Close them now, gently. Let the shoulders drop and the neck grow soft and the throat unclench. Let the cool drafts of tension blow out and the warmth settle in. And let this floor of the house grow quiet and dark and still. Down again to the great central rooms of the chest and the back and the belly, the largest rooms of the house, where the breath moves like a slow tide through the dark, and the heart keeps its faithful, quiet rhythm. You needn't do anything here. These rooms know how to keep themselves through the night. Simply let them soften. Let them grow heavy. Let the breath move slowly through them, rising and falling. And let this floor, too, grow dim and warm and still, down to the hips and the long rooms of the legs, the parts of the house that did all the day's walking and standing and carrying, that bore your weight from morning to night without complaint. Let them rest now. Let them grow heavy and warm and still, the doors closed, the lights out, the long day's labor finally done. And down, all the way down, to the feet, the foundation of the house, set firm upon the ground, asking nothing now, perfectly at rest. The whole house is dark now, and quiet, and still. Every light is out. Every door is closed. Every window is latched against the night. And inside that dark and peaceful house, you may rest completely, the way a house rests through the long hours, holding nothing, doing nothing, simply being, while the rain falls softly on its roof and the night keeps watch all around it. Feel how heavy you have become, how warm, how wonderfully still. There is a sweetness in this heaviness, in this full and complete letting go of the body, this giving of your whole weight over to the dark. You have held yourself upright all day. Now the night holds you. You have carried the house all day. Now the house may simply rest. And notice, as the house grows still, how safe it is. The doors are latched. The windows are shut. The rain falls outside, but it cannot reach you, for you are within, warm and dry and sheltered, in the deepest and most protected room of all. Nothing out in the night can trouble you here. The house stands firm around you, as it has stood through 1,000 nights of rain, and it will keep you safe through this one too, while you rest in its dark and quiet heart. You may let down your guard completely. You may let go of all watchfulness, all readiness, all the long days bracing against what might come. Nothing is coming. You are safe. You are home. You may rest, and as the body settles, the breath grows even slower, even softer, the slow tide moving through the dark and quiet rooms, in and out, in and out, asking nothing, needing nothing, carrying you a little deeper into rest with every gentle wave. You are sinking now, slowly, sweetly, like a house settling into the earth at the end of a long day, like a stone settling to the bottom of a still pond, down and down, into the deep, warm dark where sleep is waiting. There is no floor to this sinking, no bottom you might strike, only a soft and endless settling, deeper and deeper into rest, gentle the whole way down. The elder sits in the quiet, and the rain falls, and the lamp burns its small, steady flame. And you, in the dark and peaceful house of your body, sink down and down toward sleep. There is nothing left for you to do tonight. The house is closed for the night. The lights are out. The rain is falling. And you may rest now, fully, deeply, completely, held by the warm dark, carried by the slow breath, watched over by the steady lamp, while the long night goes on around you, soft and endless and kind, and you sink at last into the deep, sweet rest you have earned, and more than earned, and are allowed, fully allowed, to receive. There is, upon the elder's shelf, an old clay bowl, and though you can barely see it now in the dark, he turns his gaze toward it, and out of the quiet he begins to speak of it, gently, the rain still falling soft upon the roof. That bowl, he says, is the oldest thing in this house, and the dearest to me, and there is a reason. Long ago, a young man came up the mountain in great distress, not over any trouble in the world outside, but over himself. He could not forgive himself. He had made mistakes, as everyone does, and he had failed at things, as everyone has, and he had hurt people he loved, as everyone in their living sometimes will. And he could not lay it down. He carried every failure with him, every crack and flaw in himself. And he believed that until he could become whole and perfect and unbroken, he did not deserve to rest, or to be loved, or even to be at peace for a single night. You may know something of this young man's trouble in your own quiet way. Many of us carry it. The belief that we must be better than we are before we are allowed to be at ease, that our flaws and failures make us somehow unworthy of rest, unworthy of kindness, unworthy of simply lying down in the dark and being held. The old man listened to all of it, the elder says, and then he rose and took down from the shelf this very bowl, and he set it in the young man's hands. And the young man saw that it was an old bowl, and that it had once been broken, badly broken, into many pieces, and that it had been mended, the cracks running all through it where the pieces had been joined back together, plainly visible, not hidden at all. "It is broken," the young man said. The old man nodded. "It was broken," he said. "Now it is mended. Look more closely." The rain patters softly, and the elder's voice is very gentle now. And the young man looked more closely, and he saw that the mended bowl was, in its way, more beautiful than an unbroken bowl would have been. For the lines where it had been joined caught the light in a way that smooth clay never could, and each crack told a story, and the bowl had a history written all over it, a life, a survival. "This is my favorite bowl," the old man said, "not in spite of the cracks, because of them. An unbroken bowl has only ever held what it was made to hold, but this bowl has been broken, and has been mended, and still holds water just as well as it ever did, and is more beautiful for all it has been through. The cracks are not its shame, they are its story. They are the proof that it was worth mending." Let those words settle into the tender places in you, the places where you, too, feel cracked or broken or ashamed of your flaws. You do not have to be unbroken to be worthy of rest. You do not have to be perfect or whole or free of every failure before you are allowed to lie down in the dark and be held. Your cracks are not your shame. They are your story. They are the proof that you have lived and broken and mended and gone on holding what life has poured into you, just as well as you ever did, and more beautifully for all you have been through. And consider, the elder seems to say, what the mending truly meant. Someone, long ago, had gathered up the broken pieces of that bowl. Someone had not thrown them away as worthless, had not swept them out with the morning dust. Someone had sat down, patiently, and fitted each shard back to its neighbor, and joined them, slowly, with great care, until the bowl could hold water again. The mending was an act of love. It said, "This is worth saving. This is worth the patience and the trouble." And so it is with you. Whatever has broken in you, whatever you fear is beyond repair, has been held and mended more times than you know by the slow, patient love of the people who stayed, by your own quiet courage in going on, by the simple fact that you are still here, still holding what life pours into you, still whole enough to rest. You were worth mending. You always have been. The proof is that you are here. There is no crack so deep that it makes you unworthy of this rest. There is no failure so great that it shuts you out of the warm dark tonight. The bowl that has been broken and mended 100 times still holds the water, still catches the light, still has its place upon the shelf, dearer for every repair. And you have your place here too, tonight, in the warm and quiet dark, dearer for everything you have survived. The young man held the mended bowl a long time, the elder says, and something in him began, at last, to soften. He saw that he did not have to wait until he was perfect to deserve rest. He saw that he was, perhaps, like the bowl, not ruined by his cracks, but somehow made more real by them, more worthy of tenderness, not less. And he set the bowl back on the shelf with great care, and he sat down by the fire, and for the first time in a very long time, he let himself rest, broken and mended and imperfect as he was, and found that he was welcome to it, after all. You are welcome to it too, tonight, exactly as you are. You needn't fix yourself first. You needn't mend every crack before you sleep. You may bring your whole imperfect self into the warm dark, all your failures and flaws and unfinished mending, and be held just the same, and rest just the same. For you are not loved for your perfection, but for your realness. And the night does not ask you to be whole before it will hold you. It holds the cracked and the mended just as tenderly as the unbroken, perhaps more tenderly, the way the old man loved his broken bowl best of all. So let yourself be held, cracks and all, in the soft dark, beneath the gentle rain. You are worthy of this rest. You always were. You do not have to earn it by becoming perfect. You have only to let yourself receive it, broken and beautiful and real, exactly as you are tonight. The rain softens a little, and in the gentle hush that follows, you may feel the elder's kindness still resting upon you. That same kindness he has shown to every traveler who ever climbed his path. And perhaps you may learn, tonight, to turn a little of that kindness toward yourself. For it is a strange thing how gently we can treat others, and how harshly we so often treat ourselves. To a tired friend, we would never say the things we say to ourselves in the dark. To a weary stranger at our door, we would offer warmth and rest and a place by the fire, the way the elder does. But to ourselves, at the end of a long and difficult day, we so often offer only the cold list of where we fell short, the quiet voice that says we should have done more, been better, tried harder. We lie down to rest and find that we have brought our harshest companion to bed with us, the one who will not let us be at peace. Tonight you may send that harsh companion away and become, instead, your own kind elder. You may speak to yourself the way the old man speaks to his guests, with warmth and patience, and no demand to be anything other than tired. You may say to yourself, gently, the things he might say. You did enough today. You are allowed to rest now. You needn't have done it all perfectly. You needn't have been anything other than human. Come in from the cold of your own judgment and sit by the warm fire of a kinder voice. And let yourself be welcome here. Let that warmth begin to gather in the center of your chest now. The warmth of your own kindness turned at last toward yourself. You might even rest a hand there, over your heart, if it brings you comfort. The way you would lay a gentle hand on the shoulder of someone you loved who was tired. Feel the warmth of your own hand, the warmth of your own kindness, spreading slowly through your chest, soft and steady, the way the fire's warmth spread through the cold room when you first arrived. And as that warmth spreads, let it carry a quiet forgiveness with it into all the places in you that are tired of being judged. Forgive yourself for the day, for whatever you did or did not do, for whatever you wish had gone differently. Not because none of it mattered, but because the night is not the time for that reckoning, and you are not the harsh judge of yourself tonight. You are only a tired soul who has come in from the dark, worthy of warmth, worthy of rest, worthy of being spoken to gently as you fall asleep. This kindness toward yourself is not weakness, the elder would want you to know, nor is it a way of excusing what should not be excused. It is something quieter and truer than that. A tired traveler who is treated harshly grows only more lost, more frightened, more likely to stumble on the dark path. But a tired traveler who is met with warmth and fed and rested rises in the morning stronger and steadier and more able to walk well. You will do better tomorrow, in all the ways you wish to be better. Not by lying awake tonight punishing yourself, but by resting deeply in your own kindness and waking restored. The gentlest thing is often also the wisest thing. To rest well, you must first be kind to the one who is trying to rest. So let the kindness deepen. Let it reach the places that have gone the longest without it, the part of you that has tried so hard for so long and so rarely heard a gentle word. The part that carries the old failures, the quiet regrets, the secret sense of not being enough. Lay your kindness over all of it now, like a warm blanket over a sleeping child, and let it be soothed, and let it be forgiven, and let it finally rest. The elder watches you with his kind old eyes, and he seems to understand what is happening in you. This softening, this turning toward your own tenderness, and he is glad of it, for it is the thing he has hoped all along that his guests would learn. Not any grand teaching, only this: to be as gentle with themselves as the night is with the sleeping world. To stop, at last, the long war against their own imperfection, and to lie down in peace, befriended at last by their own hearts. Let the warmth spread now from your chest outward through the whole of you. A warmth of kindness and forgiveness and welcome, reaching down your arms, up into your shoulders and your neck, softening your face, settling over your whole tired body like a warm blanket laid gently over someone who is loved. You are that someone tonight. You are loved, and you are tired, and you are allowed to rest. And there is no one here who will judge you, least of all yourself, for you have sent the harsh voice away and become your own kind companion in the dark. And if the kind words feel strange at first, that is all right. Many of us have gone so long without them that they no longer come easily. You needn't believe every gentle word the very first time you offer it. You have only to keep offering it, softly, the way you would keep speaking softly to a frightened animal until it slowly came near. In time, the tender voice grows easier, and the harsh one grows quieter. And a person who once could not rest for self-reproach learns, at last, to fall asleep in their own good company. Let tonight be a beginning of that, if it has not begun before. One soft word to yourself in the dark, one small kindness. It is enough to start. Rest now in that kindness. Let it hold you, soft and warm, the way the elder's warm room holds you, the way the night holds the sleeping village. You have been so hard on yourself for so long. Tonight, you may lay that hardness down with everything else, and let yourself be tended by your own gentle heart as you sink down softly toward sleep. Tell yourself it is all right now, that the day is done, that you are safe, that you may rest. And believe it, for it is true. And let that warm and kindly voice carry you the rest of the way down into the deep, forgiving dark, where you are welcome, exactly as you are, to finally and fully rest. The rain has nearly stopped now, only the last few drops falling from the eaves, and the night has grown very still and very late. And the elder, in a voice that has slowed almost to the pace of sleep itself, tells you one last quiet thing, hardly a story at all, more like a memory he is content simply to rest inside. For many years, he says, an old friend of mine would climb up the mountain to visit me. We had known each other since we were young, and when we were young, we talked, the way the young do, about everything under the sun, late into the night, certain we were solving the great questions of the world. But as the years went on, we found we had less and less need to talk. We had said most of what there was to say, and so my friend would climb up, and we would sit together by this fire, just as you and I are sitting now, and we would say almost nothing at all. We would simply be together in the warm quiet, two old friends watching the fire, listening to the night. You may feel the deep peace of that in your drowsy dark. The peace of being with someone you need not perform for, need not explain yourself to, need not fill the silence with. The rare and restful comfort of a quiet shared with someone who knows you, where nothing needs to be said and nothing needs to be done, and you can simply be, side by side, at ease. It is one of the quiet griefs of a busy life, the elder seems to feel, how rare that kind of silence has become. We fill every moment now with sound, with talk, with the endless chatter of the day, as though silence was something to be afraid of, something empty that must be filled. And so we forget that silence can be the fullest thing of all, that two people sitting quietly together, or one person sitting quietly with the night, can be more deeply at peace than any amount of conversation could ever bring. The old friend understood this. He did not climb the mountain for talk. He climbed it for the silence, the good, warm silence by the fire, which had grown over the years into something more precious than any words. You may give yourself that same gift tonight. The gift of a silence that is not empty but full, not lonely but companioned, not anxious but deeply at rest. You needn't fill it. You needn't break it. You may simply sink into it, the way the elder and his friend sank into it evening after evening, year after year, two quiet figures by the fire, perfectly content. People thought it strange, the elder says softly, that we would spend whole evenings together hardly speaking. But it was not strange. It was the truest kind of friendship there is, to be so at ease in someone's presence that the silence between you is not empty or awkward, but warm and full and restful. My friend would sit, and I would sit, and the fire would burn, and the night would deepen. And now and then one of us might say a small thing, and then we would fall quiet again, perfectly content. And when it grew late, he would rise and rest his hand on my shoulder for a moment, and walk back down the mountain in the dark. And neither of us felt the need to say more than that. Let yourself rest in that kind of quiet now, the warm and easy silence of good company. For the night itself can be such a friend to you, if you will let it. It asks nothing of you. It does not need you to talk or explain or be interesting or be well. It is simply here, all around you, warm and vast and quiet, content to keep you company through the dark, the way the elder kept his old friend company, asking only that you rest in its presence, at ease, with nothing to say and nothing to do. You needn't perform for the night. You needn't be anything for it. You may simply be here, in its quiet company, the way you would sit in comfortable silence with the oldest and dearest of friends, watching the last of the fire, listening to the last of the rain, perfectly content to say nothing, to do nothing, to simply be together with the gentle dark. My friend is gone now, the elder says, very gently, and there is no sorrow in it, only a deep and peaceful tenderness. But I find that the quiet we shared is still here. On nights like this one, when the fire burns low and the rain falls soft, I feel him near, in the silence. the way you feel the presence of everyone you have ever sat quietly beside. The good silences do not end. They gather over a lifetime into a kind of warmth that fills the late-night room, so that one is never truly alone by the fire, but kept company by every quiet hour one has ever shared. You are kept company in just that way tonight, by the warm dark, by the soft last rain, by the quiet presence of the elder and the gentle weight of the night, and by, perhaps, the memory of every peaceful silence you yourself have known. You are not alone. You rest in good company, and there is nothing you must say, and nothing you must do, but to settle into the warm, shared quiet, and let it hold you, and let it carry you, the rest of the way down into sleep. Rest now, in the easy silence. The rain has stopped. The fire glows low. The night sits beside you like an old and gentle friend, asking nothing, content simply to be near, while you sink down and down into the deep and peaceful dark, kept company all the way by the quiet and the warmth and the long, soft hush of the late and tender night. And should any loneliness still linger in you, any old ache of feeling unaccompanied in the dark, let it ease now in this good silence. You have been kept company tonight by an old voice and an old fire and a warm imagined room, and more than that, by the simple presence of the night, which has sat with every sleeping soul since the beginning, and will sit with you too, faithfully, until morning. You are not alone in this hour. You never quite were. Let that knowledge settle over you, soft as the last of the rain, and rest within it, companioned and warm, as you drift the final distance down into sleep. And now the elder says little, and you need hear little, for the night has reached its deepest hour, and everything has grown soft and slow and still. That the words come only now and then, like the last drops from the eaves, and that the long quiet between them hold you. Outside, the whole valley is sleeping. Every house in the village is dark. Every creature of the mountain has found its place of rest. The birds folded in the pines, the deer lying still in the high meadows, the fish hanging motionless in the deep pools of the river. The whole world, as far as you can imagine in any direction, has lain down into the dark and gone to sleep. And the night holds all of it, gently, the way a great soft hand might hold a sleeping bird. Careful, warm, asking nothing, keeping it safe until the dawn. You are held in that same great, gentle hand tonight. The same dark that lies over the whole valley lies softly over you, warm and vast and kind. It is not an empty dark. It is a full and tender one. A dark that has gathered in every sleeping thing and holds them all at once. The village, the valley, the mountain, the wide world, and you among them. One small sleeping soul held safe in the great soft dark with all the others. Far above the mountain, the stars turned slowly through the deep of the night, as they have turned over every sleeper who ever lived, patient and ancient and calm. They are in no hurry, those old stars. They have all the time there is. and the earth turns slowly beneath them, carrying the whole sleeping valley gently through the dark toward the morning, with no effort, no rush, no need for anyone to do anything at all. You are being carried, even now, even as you rest. Turn softly through the night toward a dawn you do not have to lift a finger to bring. All of it happens on its own. All of it carries you. You have only to rest and be carried, while the great, slow wheel of the night turns gently on. Let yourself be held. There is nothing to do now but be held. You needn't keep yourself safe tonight. The night is keeping you. You needn't hold yourself up. The dark is holding you. You needn't watch over anything, or carry anything, or be ready for anything. You may let go of all of it, completely, and rest in the great, gentle hand of the night, the way the whole sleeping valley rests, trusting, soft, and still. Feel how far down you have come, from the busy, bright world of the day, down the long, dark path, into the warm room, past the fire, past the stories, past the body settling and the mind growing still. Down and down, into this deep and quiet place where sleep is waiting. You are nearly there now. You can feel it, that soft heaviness, that gentle pull, the last easy distance down into rest. Let the breath grow slower still, each one longer and softer than the last, carrying you down by gentle degrees. There is no hurry in it. There is all the night ahead. Each slow breath out, you sink a little deeper. Each slow breath out, the world grows a little more distant, a little more dim, a little more like a dream. Down and down into the warm, soft dark. And as you sink, notice how the room itself seems to soften and recede. The walls grow distant. The fire grows faint. Even this gentle voice begins to feel far away, the way sounds feel far away as you slip towards sleep, near and warm, and yet somehow distant, no longer asking anything of you, only carrying you, like the murmur of the river at the bottom of the valley, like the soft last patter of the rain. You needn't hold on to any of it. Let it all grow distant and dim. Let yourself drift on past it, down into the deep, warm dark, where there are no rooms and no walls and no words. Only rest, only the soft and endless quiet of sleep. The fire is only embers now, a faint orange glow on the hearth, breathing its last slow warmth into the room. The lamp burns low in the window, its small flame steady and dim. And the elder sits in the deep quiet, his eyes nearly closed, keeping his last gentle watch as you drift down past the reach of words into the place where sleep begins. You needn't follow anything now. You needn't understand anything, or remember anything, or do anything at all. There is only the warm dark, and the slow rise and fall of the breath, and the great gentle hand of the night holding you, and the long, sweet sinking down into rest. Let it take you. Let yourself go, all the way, into the deep, soft dark, where the whole world sleeps. Down, past thought. Down, past worry. Down, past the long day and everything you carried through it. Down into the quiet, the deep quiet, the warm and endless quiet of the late night, where there is nothing to hold and nothing to fear and nothing to do but rest. Down, where the day cannot reach you. Down, where nothing is required of you. Down, where you are simply held and warm and safe and free to let go of everything at last. The night holds the valley. The night holds the village. The night holds you. And you may sink now, the last gentle distance, down into the deep and peaceful dark, soft and warm and held, while the elder keeps his quiet watch, and the lamp burns low, and sleep rises up to meet you, slow and sure, gathering you in at last. There is nothing more to wait for, and nothing more to do, and nowhere else to be but here, sinking softly into rest. Let go now. Let yourself drift down into it, the deep, sweet rest that has been waiting for you all along. There is nothing left between you and sleep, only the warm dark and the slow breath and the long, soft sinking down, down into the quiet heart of the night, where you are held and safe, and finally allowed to rest. The whole valley sleeps, and you sleep with it, gathered into the same soft dark, carried gently toward the morning, with nothing left to do but rest and rest and rest. There are almost no words now. The night has grown so deep and so quiet, but words have nearly all dissolved into it, the way the last embers dissolve into the dark. And that is good. There is nothing left that needs saying. There is only this soft and final hush, and you resting within it, almost asleep. The fire has burned down to its very last embers, a faint and gentle glow upon the hearth, warm still, but soft and dim, and almost gone. You needn't tend it. It is meant to go out now, the way everything is meant to grow quiet and dim at the end of the night. Let it fade. Let the last small glow soften into the dark, and let the warmth it gave settle deep into the room, into you, holding you long after the flame is gone. The lamp in the window burns low. Its small flame has grown faint, steady still, but quiet. A last soft point of light in the great dark room, keeping its final gentle watch. It does not go out. It will not go out. But it has grown soft and dim, the way a watchful light grows soft when the one it watches over has nearly fallen asleep. Rest in its faint glow. You are watched over still. You may let go entirely. The elder sits in the deep dark, very still, his eyes closed now, his breathing slow and even. He has told all the stories he means to tell tonight. He has kept his long watch faithfully, and now he too grows quiet, content to sit in the soft dark beside you while you drift the last small distance into sleep. He is near. He asks nothing. His quiet presence holds the room, gentle as the warmth of the fading fire. Listen, one last time, to how quiet it has become. There is no sound now. The rain has stopped. The wind is still. The river murmurs so faintly at the bottom of the valley that it is less a sound than a feeling, a soft and distant hush beneath everything. The whole world has gone quiet. The way the world goes quiet only in the very deep of the night, when all things sleep, and the silence itself seems to breathe, slow and soft, all around you. Let that great silence hold you. Let it be a soft, dark blanket over the whole sleeping world, and over you within it, warm and quiet and still. There is nothing to listen for now, nothing to wait for, nothing to do but rest in the deep, soft silence and let it carry you down. Each breath a little slower, each breath a little softer, each breath a little deeper into the warm dark. There is no edge to this dark, no end to it, only soft, warm depth, going down and down, gentle the whole way, with nothing to fear and nothing to find, only rest. And you have come so far tonight, all the long way down, from the bright noise of the day to this deep and silent place at the bottom of the night, where there is nothing to do, and nothing to hold, and nothing to fear, only rest, only the soft dark, only the slow breath carrying you the last gentle distance home. Let it carry you. There is no effort left to make. There is no thought left to think. There is only the warm dark growing softer, and the breath growing slower, and the deep, sweet pull of sleep drawing you down gently, the way the tide draws a small boat out onto the calm, dark water, with no sound, and no struggle, and no fear, only the soft and certain movement out into the deep. You are almost there now, almost asleep. You can feel the edges of yourself growing soft and dim, the way the room has grown soft and dim, the way the fire has faded to its last warm glow. There is no holding on anymore. There is only letting go, the last gentle letting go, down into the deep, warm dark where sleep is waiting to gather you in. Let the breath grow slower still. Let the last thought drift away unfinished. Let the warm dark close softly around you, like a blanket drawn up over a sleeping child. And let yourself sink, at last, the final small distance, down and down, into sleep. And if you are still a little awake, that is all right too. You needn't chase sleep across the last small distance. You needn't reach for it. It is already here, all around you, soft and warm and near, and it will gather you in when it is ready, in its own gentle time. You have only to keep resting, keep breathing slow, keep sinking softly into the warm dark, and let sleep find you, as it always does, as it is finding you now, drawing you down, ever so gently, into the deep. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to be, only the soft dark, and the slow breath, and the deep, warm, gathering rest. The fire fades, the lamp glows low. The elder keeps his quiet watch, and you sink down, soft and warm and held, into the deep and peaceful dark. Almost asleep now, almost gone, almost home. You may let even this voice go now. You needn't hold on to it any longer. Let it grow soft and far away, the way the fire has grown soft, the way the lamp has grown dim, the way the whole world has grown quiet and distant at the bottom of the night. It has carried you as far as it can. The rest of the way is yours alone. The last soft step into sleep. And you needn't take it. Only let it happen, the way sleep has always happened. Gently, on its own, gathering you in. Let the voice fade. Let the room fade. Let everything grow soft and dim and far, until there is only the soft dark and the quiet and rest. Let yourself go. The night has you. Rest now. Rest. There is nothing left but rest, and the warm dark, and the long, slow breath carrying you down into sleep. Gently, completely, all the way, while the last embers glow and fade, and the soft dark holds you, and the quiet of the deep night gathers you in at last. And you rest, and you rest, and you rest. And so we come to the end of the night, though there is no need to mark it, for you may already be asleep. And if you are, then these last few words are only for the soft edges of your dreaming, a gentle blessing laid over your rest, asking nothing, waking nothing, only wishing you well. If you are still a little awake, then let these be the last things you hear, spoken low, in the elder's gentle voice, as the lamp glows soft in the window, and the last embers cool upon the hearth. You came up the mountain tonight carrying a great deal, as everyone does, and you may go down in the morning carrying some of it still, for the night does not take everything away, and it was never meant to. But you have set some of it down here, by the fire, in the warm dark, and what you set down will be lighter in the morning, and some of it you will find you no longer wish to pick up at all. That is the quiet work of the night, done not by effort, but by rest, while you sleep. The way the silt settles in the still pond, the way the worry dissolves into the wide, dark sky. You do not have to solve your life tonight. You never did. The unfinished things will keep. The questions will wait. The whole great weight of all that is unresolved may rest on the floor beside you until morning, and the morning will be soon enough, and you will meet it rested, and kinder to yourself, and more able to carry what truly needs carrying. But that is for the morning. Tonight there is only rest. Tonight you are allowed, fully and completely, simply to sleep. Think back, if you like, just for a soft moment, over the quiet things the night has given you. The traveler who was handed a warm cup instead of an answer, and found that the warmth was answer enough. The young climber who learned that the mountain was beneath his feet all along. The weary man who set his heavy pack on the floor and slept anyway. The child who breathed her worries up into the wide, dark sky. The still pond that gathered the whole moon once the reaching stopped. The lamp kept burning so that no one need be alone in the dark. The woman who heard, at last, the rain. The bowl made dearer by its mending. The old friend who needed no words. You needn't hold any of these now. Let them settle into you like warmth into a cold room, quietly, on their own, and let them go on warming you long after you have forgotten the words. That is how the night's gifts work, not by being remembered, but by being received. Remember, if you remember anything of this night, that you were welcome here exactly as you were. Tired, imperfect, carrying too much, cracked and mended and human. You did not have to be well or wise or finished or fixed to be given a warm seat by the fire and a place to lay your burdens down. You have only ever had to be here. And you were, and that was enough. It is always enough. The elder will keep the lamp burning, as he always does, through the rest of the night and every night to come, so that whenever you find yourself awake in the dark, carrying too much, unable to rest, you may climb the path again in your mind and find the small light still glowing on the mountain, and know that the door is open and the fire is warm, and you are expected, and you are welcome, and there is nothing here you must do but rest. So rest now. The night is long, and it is yours, and it asks nothing of you. Let the breath move slow and soft. Let the warm dark hold you. Let the lamp keep its gentle watch, and let yourself sink down, the rest of the way, into the deep and peaceful sleep that has been waiting for you all along, patient as the mountain, soft as the dark, kind as the old hand that laid a blanket over the sleeping traveler so long ago. Let the world grow quiet and far away now. Let the breath grow long and slow and soft. There is no task left for you tonight, no burden you must hold, no hour you must keep, no one you must be. The night will carry you from here, gently, the way it has carried every tired soul before you, down through the soft, warm dark, and safely on toward the coming light. You need do nothing more. You need only rest and breathe, and let yourself be carried the rest of the way. Sleep now. You are safe. You are held. You are allowed to rest. There is nothing left to do, and nowhere else to be, and no one you must become before morning. There is only the warm dark, and the slow breath, and the deep, sweet rest gathering you in. May your sleep be deep, and your dreams be gentle, and your morning, when it comes, be soft and unhurried and kind. May you wake a little lighter than you lay down, and may you remember, in the quiet places of yourself, that you are always welcome here, on the mountain, by the fire, in the warm and gentle dark, whenever you need a place to rest. And when the morning does come, slow and gold over the shoulder of the mountain, you needn't hurry to meet it. Let it come gently. Let yourself wake the way you fell asleep, softly, without strain, in your own good time. The day will be there, and it will ask of you what it asks, and you will be more ready for it than you fear, because you will have rested, truly rested, here in the deep, kind dark. But all of that is still far away. The morning is not your concern tonight. Tonight there is only the warm dark and the gentle quiet and the long, sweet sleep that holds you now. The lamp glows soft in the window. The embers cool upon the hearth. The elder keeps his quiet watch over the warm and sleeping room, and the night holds you, gently, tenderly, all the way to morning. Rest now. Sleep now. Good night. The night holds you, and you are safe, and all is well, and all shall be well.